Yes! Alrighty! What's up, everybody? My peeps! What's going on, my beautiful peeps? And you other pieces of garbage that don't mean shit to me? Oh, you crybaby bitches! It is I, your official Tribal God of Extreme, and your unified Extreme Heavyweight Champion of the World, Peter Joseph here. Excuse me, for a late Saturday night video. Right here on the main channel, Killer of Demons 669. And as always, thank you for watching. Make sure you like the video. Hit that subscribe button down there in my pants, otherwise known as the description box below. Show your love and support. Leave a comment on the video if you like, but if these stupid comments, you're going to get sent to the Shadow Realm, placed in an Iron Maiden, have your balls chopped off, fed to Satan's dog, and then Satan will eat the rest of your soul. So gonna do that. You want to do that, go to your dead channel, or your garbage channel that nobody really gives two fucks about. You do that shit, because you ain't going to do it on mine. So, deal with it, or cry about it, bitch. Well, that's that. Follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Share the video all over the internet. And tap and slap that bell to turn on all notifications so you don't miss the next one. Because if you miss anything, you fail and you lose because you're SOL. And you know what that means by now. If you don't know what it means, please look it up. For the love of God, look it up. And if you're brand new here, ladies and gentlemen, if you're here for the very first time, well, welcome to the party, pal. We hope you enjoy the ride. Sit back, relax, grab yourself that big, fat, cold one, whatever you're drinking tonight. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. If you like it, great. You know, well, fuck off and kiss my ass. And that's that. And then when you do subscribe in the business, you know, like I said, sit back, relax, grab that cold one, and enjoy the show. Put your feet up, and all that good shit. And if you like it, great. You know, too bad. Alright. Alright. Ladies and gentlemen, it's still Labor Day, holy shit. Ladies and gentlemen, it's still 4th of July weekend. We're gonna end it off with a, you know, like we did on Friday with a good old-fashioned Gilmore cut-alike. Hold on, let me get in the frame. Bang! We're finishing off 4th of July weekend tomorrow. It was a pretty good weekend here in the Northeast, but if you're in the Carolinas right now, you're batting down the hatches. Tropical Storm Chantal is hitting your area. Lots of rain coming your way. So I know there's going to be a lot of flooding. But thankfully, it will not hit here. We'll get maybe a little bit of rain. I don't know about a little bit of rain. Excuse me. I don't think we're going to get anything from that. It might supposed to go up to Virginia and then, whoop, make a curve to the, you know, this way, the well, pretty much the Northeast, and pretty much stay away from the New York metropolitan area, so, well, it's going to be raining on for a different storm. We got that, but, so, prayers go out to my peeps in the Carolinas, and Virginia, maybe Delaware, who knows, but, really, my main prayers go out to the people in Guadalupe, Texas, and I think it was southern Texas, around the Mexico area. They got hit really bad by a storm. I don't think it was a tropical storm. I think it was just tropical rain, and they got a lot of rain down there. Flooding killed 43 people. You know, you never know how you're gonna die. Some people die of natural causes. Some die in different manners, but, you know, you never think about dying from a hurricane or dying from flooding rain, unless you don't know how to swim and all that stuff, but, you know, you can't control the weather, you can't control time. I wish we could, but we can't. We're not like Dragon Ball Z, okay, you know, or even, not even Dragon Ball Z, Star Trek. Or even, we can go back in time, like in the great movie Back to the Future. We can go back in time and change everything, or Superman can go, whoop, you know, revolve around the Earth about 6 million times, and then turn the Earth back, you know, in Superman. I think it was Superman 1 or 2, where he, like, went around the Earth, like, a million times just to save Lois because she died in that, I think it was an earthquake that almost killed her, and the dirt was getting into her car and basically buried her alive, and then Superman's like, no! And then he had like, ah! He went up to space and he made like 6,000 revolutions around the Earth to try to counterclockwise the events of the earthquake, and then he somehow did it and saved Lois. But wish we had that, but we can't have that. You know, we can't have nice things these days. But it is what it is, and that's that. But my heartfelt prayers go out to the people in Guadalupe, and I hope you can pick up the pieces. And I don't know how much rain they got. They got more rain in a month, I think I heard on the Weather Channel. Just sad, you know. You hate talking about freaking, you know, catastrophic events like a Cat 5 hitting Puerto Rico and destroying most of the islands and everything, or, you know, Superstorm Sandy hit here 14 years ago. You know, dismantled a lot of houses in the New York area, even around my neck of the woods. Thankfully not my house. I only lost a refrigerator, so lots of rain though. But other people I know lost a lot of valuables, and they had to get their houses lifted, and it was just a mess with FEMA and everything. But hopefully, you know, the people in Guadalupe and in the Texas area can pick up the pieces. And I'm sorry that you lost your loved ones. And you know, my thoughts and prayers go out to your families in this tragic time of need. So to those who passed away in the flooding in Guadalupe, all I gotta say is rest in peace, and that's that. Alright, on a happier note, I hope everybody else had a great day, and that's that. I had a pretty awesome day. Not Mike awesome, not you, Mike, not you. I know you're awesome, but you know. Yeah, I know you said my name, I know, I just wanted to say hi. Well, hi, Mike. I heard you had a great day, and I heard, like, a lot of stuff. No, we're not going to talk about that right now. Yeah, but you know, those, you know, I was watching some stuff here in heaven. You know, we got satellite here. You know, we can see everything. Yeah, I know, Mike. I know. Yeah, I saw one guy was raging up a storm, crying like a little bitch. I don't know why. He was crazy. He was going crazy there, Mr. Joseph. I didn't care to whatever you were watching. I didn't care, but now you wouldn't have liked it anyway. It was 3 hours of boredom. Oh, jeez. You watched that whole thing? No. I watched like 5 seconds of it, and I was bored in my mind. I had to turn it off, and I had to go to the bar and drink my sorrow away, and then Mae Young tried to give me a gummy blowjob. Ah! God damn it, Mike. I told you don't tell me those things. God damn it. Now I'm gonna have... Damn it, Mike! Nah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. I'm sorry. Okay, Mike. Okay. Alright, anyway, you want to say goodbye? Because I got to finish this up, and I got other things to do. Alright, you have a good show, Mr. Joseph. And for all you people that don't like him, fuck you. If I was alive today, I would come to your house, wherever you live. I would pull you out of your house and put you through a flaming table. Because I'm awesome. That's right, Mike. Right. My right-hand man for the last, how many years we known each other? Mike, I don't remember. I think like at least 10. Well, 10 glorious, great years with you, Mike. Awesome. It should be in the Hall of Fame. I know, because I'm awesome. More awesome than The Miz. That's right, Mike. Right on. Oh, say goodbye already. Oh, fuck. I'm sorry, I forgot. Bye! Okay. Sorry about that, guys. But anyway, I had an awesome day. Sorry, Mike. I had an awesome day. Went to the Met game today. Mets whooped the fuck out of the Skankies, the Chankies, whatever you want to call them. 13-6. Won the series from the Yankees. Yankees took 2-3 in that dump of a stadium in the Bronx. And now the Mets, in a real stadium, have taken 2-3. Still a half game back of the Filthies who won today. But final game of the series with the Phillies and the Reds tomorrow. And the Mets, Yankees tomorrow afternoon. Wish it was on Channel 11, but it's on SNY. What are you going to do? And then the Mets are off on Monday. They go to, I believe they go to Baltimore, then KC, or it's the other way around. But they're going to be on the road before the All-Star break. We'll see if they get the first place, or they'll still be in contention for the NL East crown by the time we hit the All-Star break, which is next Tuesday. Not this Tuesday, next Tuesday. And for that, the first half of the season's over. The Mets already have 51 wins already. Yeah, if everything goes well and they're playing like they're playing now, hopefully no August, or maybe September, but, you know, history shows when August comes, Mets go kind of night-night and kind of take the foot off the pedal. But I don't think they're gonna. I hope and pray they don't do that. I think we're gonna get Singer back, McGill, maybe Sean Manaea, the tribal chief, will come back, make his debut. But Winker's coming back pretty soon, so Mets will be hopefully back at full strength by the time we hit the second half of the season, and then we'll see what happens for that. As far as the Yankees go, 6-game losing streak. Fans are up and up. Yankee fans want to jump up bridges. Go ahead and do it. But I feel for you because Aaron Baboon can't manage anymore. He manages horribly. And I just don't know why. And I have to agree with Yankee fans that Hal Steinbrenner loves the guy. He loves the guy so much. He's sucking his fucking cock. And he's keeping him around. And Yankee fans wanted his head on a silver platter. Oh, we went to the World Series last year. Did you win? No, you. It was a stupidity because Garrett Cole can't cover first base. Aaron Judge forgot to pop a steroid and can't even catch an easy fly ball. What happens? The Dodgers score 5 runs. I think it was 5 or 6 runs. Next thing you know, the Dodgers are the world champions. Because the Yankees just laid an egg. But at least the Mets took them to 6 games. Ha! But we'll see what happens in the second half. On The Price is Right. And that's that. And coming up pretty soon, football season. 10 weeks from tomorrow, as of this video, 10 weeks from today, the season starts. Well, on a Sunday, of course. For you people that watch it on Sundays, the Niners and the fucking Seahawks in Seattle. Not an easy game. On September the 7th, I believe. Can't wait. Football's coming. I can't wait. One of my second favorite sport next to baseball, and then hockey, my number 3. Rangers! Coming back. Hey, Sam Rosa was at the game today. I didn't even know it until I saw it on the Tron. They showed Sam Rosa. Hey, Sam Rosa's in the crowd. It's a power play goal! Oh, I miss him. A legend! Legend in the New York sports broadcasting realm. A legend. Oh, I met the guy, too, a few times. Great guy. Great guy. Anyway, not about sports. Well, we'll get into another sport, and that's one of my other favorite sports, and that's the sport, and yes, it is a sport, of professional wrestling. And if you think it's fake, I still want you people that think it's fake to take a bump. Take an honest fucking back bump. go to a wrestling school, say, hey, I want to take a bump. I guarantee you, you will fuck it up. I guarantee you. I fucked it up the first time, but the second time, got it on the second try, because I'm second try Peter. But anyway, this is such a great guy. Now, there was a actor, well, I didn't get into the wrestling business, but I got training. Have you got any training? No. Or you just sit at home on your Commodore 64 computers and jack off to me. So, make sure you wipe your computer down after you die. Just saying. Just saying. But yeah, Mets won 13-6. I was happy about that. And then, you know, came home for a little bit, and then, went out with Rosa and the same people I went to the game with. We had a little nightcap at the bar. We didn't spend that long. We watched a little bit of Collision at the bar, and then came home. All of us were retired, so we just came home like 3 hours ago. Watched a little bit of Collision at the bar, and then came home, and then took a little nap, and then I got up. I had something to eat, and now staying up for a little bit. I might watch a movie, and then probably go to bed. And that's that. Alright. After just 16 minutes of spiel. And if you don't like my long-winded intros, do not watch my videos. Get to the point, Gilmore! How about fuck off? That's it. That's all I gotta say. Fuck off. Go do your 3-hour bore fest. That went nowhere. Went nowhere, and it was just people just raging and triggered, and they just, you know. Prophecy wins again. He did a good job. And that's that. Alright, enough about that. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I know it's late, and it's kind of out of date, but here it comes, ladies and gentlemen. Well, not that, but, you know, well, ladies, here it comes. But anyway, it is time for your late and kind of out of date Monday Night Raw and WWE Smackdown Reviews. Alright, for this past Monday, the final day of June 30th, 2025, and SmackDown, the 4th of July SmackDown, both emanating from the PPG, the Precious Peter Gilmore Paints Arena in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, or as we call it, Schittsburg. And by the way, happy birthday to Adam Cole, baby, today. Yes. 30, I forget how old he is. Somebody said he's 45, not even close. He's in his 30s, I think he's like 33, 34 years old. Did a little Twitch stream, like an hour and a half Twitch stream. Caught most of it. But, you know, he'll be getting back to playing some good old-fashioned video games pretty soon. So if you haven't subscribed to Chuds, go do it on Twitch and tell him I sent you. And, that's pretty much it. Alright. Alright, so let's get into Monday Night Raw. We are pretty much, as of this video, we are 6 days away from NXT Great American Bash. Well, also about a week, about a week away from Evolution next Sunday night for the ladies. And this Saturday night, right after we get done with the Bash and All In, we're going to lead right into Saturday night's main event. So, Hunter is trying to screw Tony Khan not once, but twice in the same day. But Saturday night's main event at 8 o'clock, All In and the Bash at 3. But by 5:30, 6 o'clock, the Bash will be done. All In will be done. Probably by the time we get to, probably by 7, maybe 8 o'clock, knowing Tony Khan, who loves 4 or 5 hour shows, and I know All In, which is basically AEW's WrestleMania, is going to be like a 5 hour show, at least. I'm not including the pre-show. which will make it 6, at least. But yeah, it's going to be an exciting weekend next weekend. Supercard of Honor with Ring of Honor. We got All In. Dynamite next week. Collision Thursday night, not Saturday. We all know that. So, every day this week. All next week is we got shows Monday through Sunday. Crazy. You gotta love that. More wrestling on time, on cue. Alright, so let's get to Monday Night Raw, which emanated, like I said, from Pittsburgh, and then SmackDown was taped the same night, and this was a 6 o'clock show, which got pretty good ratings. Hey now, 1.45, not bad. I would love to have Raw go to a 6 to 8 o'clock format. I would love that. Instead of going 8 to 10, 10:30. But I know, like, a lot of people on the West Coast like, no! Can't have that! I'll be at work! Well, I mean, you're at work on a Tuesday night, on Wednesday night, Tuesday through Friday, you guys are at work in the West Coast because, it starts at 8 and then it's 5 o'clock. By the time you're leaving, all the shows will be starting. By the time you get home, you haven't missed half of it. Hopefully you have your DVR or you watch it on, we watch the replay on Max or on Netflix or whatever. But anyway, we move on. Alright, so we had Michael Cole and Corey Slave at ringside. Corey Slave's, congrats to him and Carmella, about to have their second kid officially. With him and her, they're going to have their second kid. I don't know how many officially between them. I think there's going to be their 5th or 6th kid collectively, I think. But, congrats to them. But, we digress. And Roman had another kid. Was his 8th kid? Something like that? 8th, 9th kid? Roman, those Samoans are wild. No pun intended. They are wild. I guess I don't believe in pulling out, but still. Keeping that bloodline alive. Keeping it alive for the next 50, 60 years. Jesus Christ. I wish I was Samoan. Jeez. I not really Samoan. I'm Italian, but, But, guys like Roman, he can have as many kids as he wants. He has 8, I think he has 8 with his hot girlfriend. He'll probably, Issa keeps talking about, every time she's Roman, she's pregnant. So, Issa could probably have like 18 kids with Roman right now. Who knows? I'm kidding. But, or am I? But, I could have kids with Kyrie and Asuka and Io right now. You wouldn't even know. But I digress on that. Alright, we move on with that. But yeah, congrats to Roman and his wife on the birth of another kid. Like I said, I think it's number 8. Alright, what's my... Sorry about that. Anyway, we moving on. Alright, so let's get to this fucking video as my, computer starts acting a little wonky, but that's the way it is. Alright, so, give me, 1 second. I'm trying to get my notes in order, but, as always, my computer was ancient. But I am in getting a new computer pretty soon. So, as long as it doesn't, clunk out on me. But, yeah, everything's turning to Windows 11. I have Windows 10 Professional, so a couple months that's going to be pretty much extinct, and I have to, put a down payment on a new computer pretty soon, or a laptop. Alright, we got that. Alright, now we're back up and running, hopefully. Alright, so we start off on Raw with a long as fuck Night of Champions recap. And then we started with the ladies. We have Mommy Mommy Rhea Ripley comes out, My brutality! The great face-melting sounds of the great hit song My Brutality or Demon in Your Dreams by the great band. You know you love them. From Pittsburgh, by the way. And that's Motionless in White. Alright, so Mommy comes out and, gets the cheap pop. Welcome to Monday Night Raw! Or Monday Night Mommy. Okay. Then, before she can even speak, my third amazingly hot Asian wife, Io Sky. She comes out looking amazing. Our Raw Women's World Champion. She comes out. Mommy is pissed. How dare you interrupt me, Io? Anyway, Io can do whatever she wants. She's a champ, bitch. Anyway, so Mommy's is mad. Io says, I need to defend the title at Evolution. Well, yeah. Io hasn't defended the belt since Mania. It's crazy that it's been almost 3 months and Io hasn't had a title defense. Just a few matches here and there, but he hasn't defended a belt on a pay-per-view or a Raw. What's going on with that, Hunter? I mean, I'm happy about it. Give more extended, title reign time. Well, the days keep going and Io hasn't defended the belt. I'm happy, but, eventually, Io's gonna like, hey, when am I gonna fight? Alright, so she wants to defend the belt at Evolution, and that includes, again, facing Mommy Rhea Ripley, who she respects. Mommy says, I respect you, Io, and I'll stop at nothing to get my title back. So it's like, you want me at Evolution 2, Electric Boogaloo, you're on! So that match is now official, and I believe this is their 4th match on the main roster. And Io is a perfect 3-0. And I think she'll make it 4-0 next week. Because I still think, and we saw this on Raw last week where Asuka came back. This is before the Queen of the Ring, where Asuka's talking about winning the Queen of the Ring, facing Jade Cargill, who eventually won the Queen of the Ring, bastard. And then Io's like, oh, Asuka Nisan! I see you at SummerSlam. I'm like, sign me up! I think we planted the seed. Oh, I wish I planted a seed, but that's another story for another time. In Io and Asuka and Kairi, but that's another story for another time. So I still think, I think Io will beat Mommy for the 4th straight time. Feels like fucking, Cody beating Seth Rollins like 50 million times. But yeah, Io will win, and then they'll start the program right after Evolution for the next couple weeks on Raw. That Io would be talking to Asuka. Something's gonna happen where Asuka's gonna turn on Io, and then poor Kairi's like, what are you doing? Or maybe Asuka turns on Kairi. You never know. But we're gonna see Io versus Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship at SummerSlam, whether it be night 1 or night 2, and I think that's when Io's long reign as champ. Not a long reign. She won it right before Mania. So it's about a 3-4 month, maybe 5-month-ish reign is going to come to an end. Asuka's going to win back the belt for, I don't forget how many times she's held a Raw title. But overall, I think it's like 4 or 5, I believe. But Asuka will become champ again. Hopefully hold it for a while. A long time, but it's gonna go. The feud's gonna be hellacious, back and forth. Maybe Kairi gets involved. Maybe Kairi beats Asuka to become champ. But I mean, we'll see what happens with that. All right. So, quick and to the point. First opening segment, and I gave that 2.5 out of 5 stars. So next Sunday night on the program for the Raw Women's Championship. In match number 4, Io versus Mommy, and we'll see what happens. Alright, then we go to, I think it was Jackie Redmond. Boy, she looked good in some of her pictures. Cutie patootie. Alright, so she's there with Dominic Guerrero, the Intercontinental Champion. That's Eddie's son. Eddie, that's your son. Oh, he's a great Intercontinental Champion like I was, pero. I know, you were a great champion and your son's doing great too. So my son is my foot to my loins, Okay, come on. Alright, so Dom gives the Judgment Day. Oh, this, I think, I thought this was in with Jackie. I'm sorry. They're in the back. He gives the Judgment Day a pep talk. JD McDumpfuck and Finn Balor going after the tag team titles for the Raw tag team titles against the New Day. Coming up right after this little segment. So he gives him a pep talk. Says, "I want you guys to win the titles. Bring more gold back into the Judgment Day. You already have enough belts as it is. Dom's the champ. Liv and Raquel are the women's tag team champions, but now Liv is going to be out till probably the end of the year. And, well, Raquel might need a tag team partner. We'll talk about that later. Alright, so he gives the pep talk. They leave, and then we get the phenomenal AJ Bad Hair Styles. He comes in with his glasses. Where's my glasses? Alright, so the phenomenal AJ Styles thinks he plays a doctor. Gets his glasses on. Look like, oh, that looks so good. Mwah. Oh, the guy's like, oh my god! Just told you, don't swing that way. I only blow kisses to the ladies. And your mama. So AJ Bad Hairstyles comes in. You know, with his glasses on. He's like, oh, I'm a doctor. So Dom says, I'm still injured. I still have the, he still has the freaking medical note. Says, I'm not cleared yet. So there's no title match just yet. So like I said, AJ has his glasses on. Says, let me see that doctor's note. Oh, yeah, here it is. It says, Dom, you're a punk-ass bitch. Really, AJ? Really? Anyway, but it calls him a punk-ass bitch, and it says, and basically says, you're gonna need, says, I'm gonna beat you so bad, you're gonna need more than a doctor's note, and shit, so, and Dominic's like, oh, can't fight me, I'm not cleared yet. I think eventually we'll see that match. I doubt it gets added to, Saturday Night's Main Event, because I got a big card there with Goldberg and Walter, Drew McIntyre and Randy, which we'll talk about, and a few other good matches coming your way on Saturday night. But it might be added, but we'll see. If not, it's most likely will happen at SummerSlam, and I don't know if AJ will win the belt there. I hope not, but I mean, as much as I like AJ and I like Dom, I'd rather see Dom keep the belt for a little bit more, a little longer. But that's that. We'll see. Alright, so I gave that 3 out of 5 stars. Now, we're going to go to the tag team titles. Alright, so we got JD McDumpfuck and Finn Balor, the former champions, taking on the current champions, the New Day of Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston! Alright, this was an actually decent match. It's also with Finn Balor and Kofi Kingston. Kofi offers Finn some bread, because he hasn't had carbs in a long time. Oh, really now? Randy, your quads are thick, Randy. I seen you at the gym. Anyway. And in commentary, Michael Cole and Corey Graves argue about whether or not Corey likes the New Day. I thought you always liked the New Day, Corey. But okay. Finn Balor hits a basement dropkick on Kofi, then brings in JD McDumpfuck, who gets draped over the top rope as Xavier Woods hits a top rope stomp to the back, ow, and then he gets a little Ric Flair, woo, strut. As we're going to come right back, Kofi comes in, continues to beat down on JD McDumpfuck, who comes back with with a power bomb, with an counters a power bomb with an X Factor. X-Pac! Kofi can't prevent the tag, and then Fiend Balor comes in and clean house to, hey, a good reaction. The crowd's back, loving the Judgment Day, because we all know they hate the New Day. The Boo Day. Boo Day? I can go for some Boo Day. But anyway, that's later. Then a running double stomp hits Finn, but it's right back to JD McDumpfuck and Xavier Woods. JD wins that exchange. He comes in and cleans house, but then goes for a moonsault, and Xavier Woods got the knees up. But then Fiend Balor goes for the coup de grace. Oops! Hits JD McDumpfuck by accident. And then the New Day hit the midnight hour, and I was like, oh no, they're going to retain. But somehow Finn Balor kicked out at 2! And then, we get a belt shot, which I guess the referee missed that. What are you looking at? Do something! So that gets a near fall. Xavier Woods gets crotched nuts on top, which sets up a super Spanish fly by my mentor, Joel Maximo. So here's a super Spanish fly for another near fall. Fiend Balor then hits a sling blade on Kofi on the floor. Ow. And then JD McDumpfuck hits the patented moonsault. And then tags in Fiend Balor. He goes up, hits the coup de grace on Xavier Woods. The crowd's getting excited. Finn goes for the cover. 1, 2, 3. We have new Raw World Tag Team Champions and the former champions. They get it back for the second time, I believe. JD McDonut and Fiend Balor in a 12.5, just under 12.5 minutes. Match was decent, 3 out of 5 stars. And then afterwards, they get some pyro. Not that it's needed, but, it's near 4th of July, it's warranted. We get that. So, congrats to JD McDumpfuck and Fiend Balor. So, more gold in the Judgment Day family. So they got the men's tag team belts, they got the women's tag team belts with Raquel and, well, as far as we know right now, Liv, but Liv is injured, so we have to see what happens with that. And Dominic Guerrero, I say, with the Intercontinental title. So the gold is back in the family like it was when Mommy and Poppy Priest were there. But now they're gone, and now, it took them a while, but now Judgment Day is back holding all the Raw gold. Except for the world title, of course. But we got that. Alright, then we're going to look back at the Lassie Beach from Ireland. Viva Valkyria, costing Bayley. Give me a hug. The Women's Intercontinental title last week against the man, Becky Lynch. Alright, so we see Bayley, she's not happy. And then Lyra comes in and doesn't know who Bayley is anymore. Who are you again? Doesn't know who Bayley is anymore, and they argue about not knowing each other anymore. Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Spider-Man? Alright, so then Adam Pearce comes in, breaks that all up, and announces that he's made a match between the two of them, and the winner will challenge Becky Lynch for the Women's Intercontinental title. I'm like, triple threat incoming! I can smell it from a mile away. I don't know about you, but my nose got here 4 minutes ago! I can smell the coffee all the way in Brazil! Thank you. God bless Owen Hart. Blah, blah, blah. Alright, so we'll see what happens with that. I gave that 2.25 out of 5 stars. Alright, then we got a video for Goldberg from his time in WCW to his first WWE title run with multiple returns. Came out like 50 million times. Can't get him away. Can't get rid of this guy. Alright, so we saw that. Then we're going to look at Pentagon Zero Miedo. I can't do the dance right now. But anyway, I do it in bed, but that's not stuff for another time. Alright, so we see Pentagon attacking Chad Gable last week and breaking his arm. Storyline breaking his arm and injuring him. He's going to be out for a while because he legit got shoulder surgery. So him and some guy named Grande Americano, or goodbye, so long, farewell. Alright, so that video leads to a video from earlier in the day. Chad, with his arm in a sling, tells his group, the Creed brothers, Julius and Brutus and Ivy Nile, to hold down the fort while he's gone. And then Adam Pearce comes in and says, well, I guess we won't see El Grande Americano anymore. So, he leaves, and then the team's not sure what they're going to do without Chad Gable. Then Gable's like, listen to Ivy. Oh, really? Okay. And then, out of nowhere, we see El Grande Americano, but it's not Chad Gable. It's Marcel Barthel? What? And he just comes in, and like, we know it's Marcel Barthel, Ludwig Spears, and he's just like, so you mean to tell me that Marcel, who was I don't know if he was out of action, they just didn't use him. They had nothing for him. They don't use him. He's kind of stuck in catering for a little bit. He goes to his home country of Berlin to race cars or whatever he did, away from Tiffy Tiff. I treated her good. Marcel. I kept her real good. But I digress. So Marcel goes to Berlin. He comes back. We see him in various segments backstage, just like looking around. And now you mean to tell me he's dressed up as El Grande Americano? Just until Chad Gable comes back from his shoulder surgery in a few months? I mean, it's funny, but at the same time, it doesn't fit Marcel. Marcel is, German. Why would he dress up as a cheap-ass American with a mask on? I don't get it, but we'll go along with it. Alright, so we got that. Alright, then we go to the Judgment Day. They're all happy with winning the Raw Tag Team belts. They're in the back, with their celebration. They meet up with Nicholas Aldis and Adam Pearce, the Raw and SmackDown general managers, who need to make a decision about the women's tag team title since Liv is hurt. How are they going to defend them? when they're going to defend them? So I think it was Finn Balor or Dom Dom said. Actually said we're going to give Raquel Rodriguez a new partner, and I think Dom Dom and Finn said, hey, how about Roxanne Perez, who's there? So Nick and Adam Pearce are like, hold on a second, let's talk about that. So they come to the conclusion like, yeah, Roxanne, you're in. You're the new women's tag team champion. You will team up with Raquel, but you gotta prove yourselves at Evolution, where you're gonna team up against a team from Raw, a team from SmackDown, and a team from NXT in a fatal four-way match. I'm like, oh, those titles are going by pretty soon. We're on SmackDown. I'll spoil a little bit. Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair teamed up. They somehow coexisted, and now they're in the fatal four-way. So we're gonna find out not tomorrow, on Monday night, who's going to go to Evolution, and then Tuesday night, we're going to find out who goes from NXT. And I'm betting you nothing, it's probably going to be Fallon, don't call her, Dawn Henley, and my girl Jasmine Nix. I mean, just, what other women's tag team is there? Unless you throw, I was thinking maybe Delta and, Soruka, that further, that's going to further Delta's fucking heel turn. Which he did spear Soruka by accident. And I think Soruka's defending the belt at the Bash. I forget against who. I think it's Fallon Henley. I forget who, but I mean we could see Soruka either lose that belt on Saturday night, or Saturday afternoon, or at Evolution, And, maybe because Delta fucked up again, and then and then either next two, well, it can't happen. I doubt it's going to happen this week. So I'm thinking next week, after we get done with Evolution, that's probably going to be the storyline as we get to August, which is, I think, Heat Wave, which is on, on TV. It's not an actual pay-per-view or anything. So we're gonna get Heat Wave, and I think that's we're gonna see Delta turn on Sol Ruka, and then go after the Women's North American title, win that, and then probably have a nice long reign with it. But I would not be surprised if Ava puts Sol Ruka and Delta as a tag team, and they go after the tag team titles on next Sunday. So instead of the turn happening Saturday, it could happen next Sunday night. I mean, we'll have to see. And as far as Raw goes, I don't know. I was thinking maybe, just maybe, if you do me a favor, Hunter, it could be Asuka and Kairi. Because it can't be Io, obviously. I was hoping for that, but... So I'm thinking the Kabuki Warriors reunite once again. And then, hopefully, at Evolution, they win the belts. And then, in turn, Io's all happy, and then, Asuka's like, no, we're not Damage Control. We are Black Lotus. So, we'll see. We'll see what all that happens when we get there. Alright, so Roxanne Perez is basically pulled a Naomi, and now is the new one half of the now new, I guess around new-ish, women's tag team title. So now they have to prove themselves against a team from Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. We'll see if they can do it. Can they coexist? I think they could, but we'll see. That's that. Alright, after that week, it's time for banger after banger after banger. So we have Sheamus, fella! He takes on Rusev, or Miro or Rusev, whatever you want to call him. But we'll say Rusev, and as we all know, when we talk about Rusev smashed on a pussy! Yeah! Alright, this was a banger, long match, 20-minute match. I'm not gonna get through everything. They beat the fuck out of each other. Sheamus with the clubbing blows of doom, the 10 bells of the bolt, 10 blows of the bell, whatever it calls that fucking move. And then Rusev hits his own version of the bro kick. And then Sheamus comes back with a brogue kick on the floor. Rusev got in at 9.99995. I was like, somebody win the match already! They get back in, they slug it out on the apron. Rusev, who exposed the turnbuckle, sends Sheamus chest first into that metal steel bar before the exposed turnbuckle. Ow! Eugh. And that led to a basement super kick, something you don't see every day from Rusev. And Rusev gets the win over Sheamus in 20 minutes. Match was great, 3.5 out of 5 stars. And then we saw after the match, Rusev was like, he went down, he kneeled down at against Sheamus. He's like, "Thank you, my brother, thank you," or something like that. Because, they were in the League of Nations long time ago with that schmuck Alberto Del Rio, who thinks he's still in the company, but he's not. And our good buddy, Bad News Reed Barrett. Now I'm afraid I got some bad news for you. I actually thought it was a pretty good faction, the League of Nations. I thought it was a pretty good faction. Not a great faction, obviously, but decent. Wait, moving on. Alright, so Rusev beats Sheamus in a banger, and I guess at 3.5 out of 5 stars. Alright, moving on. Okay. Alright, then we find out that at Evolution, we're gonna have a Battle Royale. Why not? And the winner of the Battle Royale gets a title shot of their brand's choosing. I think, well, not a world title match. It's a title match of their choosing. A title shot at Clash in Paris, which is all the way at the end of August. August the 31st, I believe. But that's in Paris. That's like, it's like almost not even close to a month after SummerSlam. So after we hit August the 3rd, we're pretty much 4 weeks from Clash in Paris. So the winner of this Women's Battle Royale gets a future world title shot. Oh, okay, we're okay with that. So I don't know who's in the Battle Royale. We have no participants yet. Actually, well, Ivy Niles in it. That's one person. But the others, we don't know. Maybe people from NXT, maybe from Raw and SmackDown, obviously. Maybe some, people coming back. Some old friends. And we'll see what happens with that. Alright, so Ivy's ready for the Battle Royale, but then Ludwig Spears comes in, the new El Grande Americano, and he comes in and poses. I thought he was going to go, iconic! No. He walks in and poses, and then Ivy and the Creed brothers are like, huh? But then they go follow him. I'm interested. So we'll see what happens with that. Alright, so I gave that, all that, 2.25 out of 5 stars. And we move on. Alright. And I guess, as the computer reloads, it's kind of weird having Marcel Ardell in a mask playing an American character. It's just weird to me. And that's that. Alright, we see in the back, we have Killer Cross. We see Sami Zayn in the back. He gets jumped by Killer Cross, who demands that he say it! Say what? Say what? Say it! Okay, we're not speaking spell. Okay, stop that. Remember that shit back in the day, you people that love the 80s? I had both of them. I had the speak and spell. I had the one that did math. I forget what I think it was speak and math or math and spell or some shit like that. That's some old school shit. I don't think I have it anymore. If I did, and if I don't, I probably just donated it to my cousins. 1980 something shit. Hey, remember this shit? What's this, Daddy? Speak and spell. Say it. Say it. Don't fuck. Speak it. Say it. Hey, Daddy, look! I can say don't fuck. Where'd you learn that? The word said it. Give me that thing. Alright, so then Cross hits him in the ribs with a steel pipe. Ow. And then a bunch of referees come in, and Cross like, I'm done. And then Scarlett comes in. Scarlett had to basically stop her own man from doing more damage. Really now, Scarlett? Come on. Leave him alone. Let him do his shit. You just stand there looking pretty. Alright, we got that. 2.25 out of 5 stars for that. Alright, then Walter's here, the Raw World Heavyweight Champion, comes in for a little kitty chat. He says, I like the dominance and destruction in the Goldberg video, that sit-down interview with Michael Cole. But the whole thing was just like his matches summed up in 3 minutes. Did I say 3 minutes? Damn. It says Goldberg said that he doesn't like bullies, but he has run into the biggest bully of them all. And after he exposes him, the question is, who's next for Walter? And then, well, we got Mr. Money in the Bank coming out with his new custom-made briefcase, which looks great. And Naomi's looks great too with the caution tape on it. I love those custom-made fucking Money in the Bank briefcases, which you can probably get for a lot of money because it's very expensive on WWEshop.com. Or just get the original one and make your own custom-made thing. Alright, so Seth freaking Rollins and My Name is Paul Heyman, they come out. So Seth says, I haven't seen you since I won the briefcase, but I was only there at, but I was only at Night of Champions to stop CM Puke for winning the belt, winning the Unified title. And then on cue, CM Punk comes out to chase Seth Rollins through the crowd, and then calls him a coward, and then basically shoves Walter down. And then Rollins runs into the crowd where he goes up the steps, and he's like, yeah, I'm the greatest, I'm Seth Rollins. And then E-Live-Trick. That's an insult. That's a fact of life. Yeah. He comes up from behind him and starts beating him up. They go into the concourse, right around the concession area, and Seth throws a beer. I think he took a beer and he put it in his briefcase or something like that, and he just ran off. You gotta pay for that shit. Those beers don't cost much, They don't come cheap. Like $15 for a beer. Ridiculous prices at the concession stands these days. Not like in 1985, but... Or you go to the Met game, you get a nice RC Cola. Remember RC Cola? A lot of people are like, what's RC Cola? RC Cola was the shit back in the day. It's still around somewhere. Most stores don't sell it. You have to, go upstate. Certain stores here in Brooklyn, they have it. Certain stores, I just have to, randomly go. I might have to go out of my way into a nice great neighborhood and get a nice little thing of RC Cola, unless I can find it on sale on Amazon, which is rare. But, go to a Met game, you get an RC Cola, not like this size, but, regular size souvenirs, not the big, huge cups. You get it for, regular RC Cola. $1.50 back in the day. Now you get a soda, depending on what cup you get. It's like $8 to $15 for a Pepsi or a Coke. It's ridiculous. Back in my day, like I said, $1.50, and for a beer was $3. So that was a lot of drunk people at the stadium back in the 80s. Not that there are drunken fucks at the stadium now. But the beer costs another $10, $15. Or $20 if you go to Skanky Stadium. Cheap, not even cheap, I shouldn't say cheap bastards. Overpriced fuckers. That's why I don't, when I go to the Met game, I went today and I just bought a regular size fucking soda. And they only cost me about $6. And then, I bought some chicken tendies because I was hungry for chicken tendies. That's like $8 to $10. But that's not with the combo. That's not the combo. Combo at Citi Field costs about $10, $12. I know it's at the Cyclones at Mamami's Park with Cyclones play. The chicken tender combo with great French fries and a Pepsi costs like about $12.50. Nothing wrong with that. You have a good time. I had a great time I always have fun at Citi Field. I have a great time watching the Cyclones, because the Cyclones are great, great team. Some years they haven't been great, but this year they're doing amazing shit. I think they won earlier today. They play tomorrow, obviously. They're doing some good shit. They keep this up. They're already first half champions in the South Atlantic League. They keep this up, they can win the second half. They can win the South Division. Maybe make another run for I was gonna say New York Penn League. Another title. They've won a lot of titles in Brooklyn. So you think Brooklyn's not championship territory? Think again. Hey, the Liberty won the WNBA title this past season. Now everybody's like, oh, let's see what the Mets and Yankees can do. Well, we hope one of the teams gets to the World Series and wins. Hopefully the Mets, but I mean, we'll see. But and then we got the Jets and the Giants. The Jets are just, rebuilding again, even with a new coach. I don't think they're gonna go anywhere. I think they'll be a little bit better than last year, but I think Justin Fields is the quarterback. Ugh. This is not practice, and it's just gonna double check. He went to Schittsburg, so the Steelers. That's the Steelers' problem now. Should have just retired. You old bag of bones. Just gonna double check and go fuck yourself. So yeah, the Jets, I don't know if they're going to be that great this year. Probably another miserable season, but I'll still be a fan. And by the way, people are mocking me for being a Jet fan and being a Met fan. Oh, you're a Met fan. You root for a horrible franchise. Well, look at the Yankees franchise with their stupid fucking fans. At least the Met fans have class. Otherwise, unlike the Yankee fans in that dump in the Bronx, because the Bronx is the most horrible borough in New York. Sorry, people that are from there. I'm being real. Brooklyn is the best. I'm sorry. There's no debate between Brooklyn and the Bronx, and Queens, and Staten Island. I love Staten Island, but I'm Brooklyn bred, Brooklyn born, I'll say it like Taz, Brooklyn born, Brooklyn bred, and God forbid I will be Brooklyn dead. But by the time I hit 67 years old, I might be living in Florida, or California, or Mexico, who knows. But that's, neither here nor there. That's another, 5-10 years from now, so I'm almost 49, I want to retire. I do. I really need to retire. I know I can't retire yet, but I'm going to eventually. But in the next couple of years, I'll probably just say, you know what? Do what I gotta do till I hit retirement age, which, get Social Security, which now you can get it at 65. You don't get a lot of money, but if you hit 67, and you're on Medicaid and shit like that, you get a little bit more, and then it just goes up over time as you hit 70, 75, 80. You're making a pretty good chunk of change. Not a lot, but for your retirement. If you have your I was gonna say 401k, but no, you have your retirement funds that you have from your job and that stuff. I have one already with mine, so when I retire, I'm gonna collect a good chunk of change and be on Social Security. So I'm good for the next 15, 20, 30 years. We'll see. What was I even talking about? I don't know. I lost track. Yeah, I was talking about beer from the 80s. Blah, blah. Alright, so, back to Raw. Alright, so, going to the concourse, Rollins throws a beer. It was a perfectly good beer set, but, so we got that. And then, Adam Pearce makes, Seth freaking Rollins versus Eli Drake. Why? On Saturday Night's Main Event. We know Seth's gonna win that match, obviously. But that's that. Alright, so all that I gave 3 out of 5 stars. Now, we move on. The Judgment Day is all happy with their titles once again, but then Raquel Rodriguez not happy with having Roxanne kind of take Liv's place as the other half of the women's tag team belts and just having it handed to her. Despite her saying that Liv's is working so hard to come back quicker in her rehab. So they have a vote, And obviously the men, JD McDumpfuck and Finn Balor says, she's in. Dom Dom's like, I guess, I don't know. It's like, well, I'll say yes, but I don't know how Liv is going to take this. Oh, she's going to be mad at you, Dom. No more chicken tenders for you. You're going to be sleeping on the couch. Shit. So Raquel doesn't seem convinced, but it's like, alright, let's have Roxanne be in the group. So now, officially, Roxanne Perez is the newest member of the Judgment Day. Taking over for Liv temporarily. Alright, so we got that. But now, can it coexist? You know, as we lead into Evolution next Sunday night in that Fatal 4-Way match, it's going to be hard for them to hold on to those belts. You got Alexa and Charlotte teaming up. If they can coexist, then they got the team from Raw, whoever that is, and then the team from NXT, which, like I said, I think is going to be Fallon Henley and Jasmine Nix, or it could be somebody else. But we'll see. Alright. So I gave that 2.5 out of 5 stars. Then we get a video for my second amazingly hot Asian wife, Kairi Sane. The pirate princess still thinks of herself as a pirate, wants all of the treasure, and she's in to get the Raw Women's Championship. Okay, we'll see. I'm so glad they got her away from, you know, that whole thing where she was dressing up differently in the Kabuki Warriors gear I loved. And then the damage control gear is like, meh. But I'm glad they gave her back, you know, her pirate gimmick. They gave her back her theme, which is great. They gave Asuka back her old theme. That's great. Because her theme, when she was in Damage Control was like a fucking Def Rebel remix version of the original one. But glad they brought back basically her NXT / main roster theme. And with Kairi, the same thing. Great. Thank you, Hunter. Thank you very much. Alright, so I gave Kairi's thing 2.5 out of 5 stars. Alright, then we go to Lyra Valkyria and Bayley. It was a decent match. Back and forth they went. They knock each other down. And then the match ends in a double pin. Well, there goes the triple threat right there. Alright, so the match ends in a draw. As Jessica goes like, nope, well, they pinned each other. So I'm like, yeah, where's Adam Pearce now? He's going to come out and say, triple threat match. And that's pretty much it. So, decent match. I gave 2.5 out of 5 stars. And then there was, like I said, a lot of confusion after the match, which lasted 10 fucking boring minutes. But we get that. And then afterwards, they continue the brawl. They fight into the crowd. And then agents and referees had to stop the madness. So we'll see what happens with that. But like I said, I think Monday night on Raw, Adam Pearce is going to announce a triple threat match with Lyra, Becky, and Bayley, probably at Evolution. We'll see. Alright, there in the back, see him puke. I think he was talking to Kathy Kelly. He's talking to her about, it's like, you see what he did? He ran like talking about Seth Rollins like running away like a little bitch. He's like, I'm surprised with his bad knees he can get that far. Ouch. So he stops mid promo, and he sees Eli Drake. He walks up to him and basically says, "Hey, you get back in the line. I'm the one to fight Seth Rollins." So Eli says, you can have Seth Rollins 6 nights of the week, but not on Saturday. So the line starts behind me now. I'm like, oh, really now? So that's how they made that match official. And Punk was not a happy camper. Alright, so I gave all that 2.25 out of 5. 2.5 out of 5 stars, excuse me. Alright, then we see Pentagon make sure that he that Sami Zayn, who has his ribs all taped up, is okay for the main event. Sami's like, yeah, I'm suing. Because they're teaming up in our main, I think it's the main event. Yeah, I think the main event. Alright, so we have Sami Zayn and Pentagon teaming up. It felt like El Generico and freaking Pentagon. I mean, this was Lucha Underground. Dario would have a freaking, Dario Cornetto would have a, he would be in love right now. But anyway, they take on big, beefy men slapping meat in that ring. That's Braun Breaker and Big Bronson Reed with Seth Rollins and the Wise Man. My name is Paul Heyman at ringside. I mean, this match was crazy as shit. Breaker comes in, puts Sami on the announcer's table, hits that clothesline of his, which is, Go back in, and they continue to beat each other down. I know I'm taking a little bit of time, because my computer sucks. Pentagon comes in and snaps Braun's arm with the sacrifice, goes to the Pentagon driver, gets blocked, and then Braun, with one basically fucking arm, goes for the gorilla press, gets counted into a DDT for a near fall, and then the Wise Man, my name is Paul Heyman, off distraction, which is good enough for Bronson Reed to get in, a cheap shot, and then allowed Braun Breaker to hit a super Frankensteiner. His uncle, Mr. Scott Steiner, would love that. And then Braun hits a sit-up powerbomb on Pentagon for a near fall. Sami had to make the save, only for Braun to cut Sami off with a big-time clothesline. He goes for the super spear, gets cut off with a kick to face. But then Bronson has to make the save. And then Pentagon and Braun Breaker go to the floor. Sami somehow suplexes Big Bronson Reed. And then he turns around and Braun Breaker just speared the living shit out of him once again. And they get the win in just under 18 and a half minutes. Match was decent, 3 out of 5 stars. And that was that. And then after the match, another beatdown happens. And then the Jeep Man, Jey Uso, comes out with a chair. And pretty much beats up on Braun and Bronson Reed with a chair. And clears the ring. So we have Pentagon, Sami, and Jay in the ring. And Bronson Reed's like, you son of a bitch! You're gonna die! So we'll see what happens with that. Maybe a 6-man tag this Monday night on Raw. Maybe Seth Rollins gets involved and it has to be the third man. I don't know. We'll see. But all in all, Raw wasn't that bad. So I give it 6.5 out of 10 stars. And we will move on. Alright. Alright, we're going to end this shindig with Smackdown. As my notes load, hopefully. And I apologize for some of the dead air, if you will, but it happens when you have an ancient computer. So that's been running kind of conky lately, and I kind of really needed to get back to what it used to be because I have some important meetings coming up for work. So coming up in the next couple weeks, and kind of needed to run perfectly with Zoom. And if not, it's gonna be a big problem. Not that I'm gonna get fired or anything, but it's gonna be a big problem. Alright, so Smackdown, I'll talk a little bit about Smackdown off the top of my head. Starts with Cody! MDK to Cody! You bitch! The king of the ring comes out, praises himself, and then Randy Orton has not his voice! He comes out, and basically, he praises Cody for winning the king of the ring, saying, oh, you didn't hesitate, In that one moment, I hesitated, and you took advantage of that, and you beat me. Congrats on being king of the ring. I respect you. And then we get the return of Papucho. Drew McIntyre comes down and says, hey, Randy, You were good a few years ago when you used to be the legend killer, killing all the legends, and then I had to come in and save them all. So, basically, Drew badmouths Randy, and then he tries to go after, starts yelling at Cody. He turns around right into a Gilwakasa! Bang! Lays him out, and then later in the show, Drew's is pissed, and he goes to Nick Aldis and says, I want Randy! So Nick Aldis says, you can have Randy at Saturday night's main event. That's a pretty good match, so we will go from there. And then to start SmackDown, we had Solo Miyuki, the new United States champion. He's coming into the building with Hikuleo, now known as Tala Tonga, which is a stupid name. He comes in with Hikuleo and JC Mateo and Tonga Loa. But then Jacob Fatu, he attacks Solo in the car, but then he got outnumbered. But then eventually, security and agents had to come and stop the madness. And then Jacob goes to Nick Aldis, says, "Hey, I want Solo or any member of Solo's little team." Later on, and then Nick's like, "Well, if you can find a partner." If you find a partner, I'll let you fight any one of the fake-ass Bloodline members. So later on, Jacob, after Nick Aldis said that, he runs into Jimmy Uso, who says, "Hey, I heard you need a tag team partner." And then Jacob's like, "You really want to get in on this?" Jimmy's like, "Yeet." So Jacob's like, "All right, yeah, yeet." Crazy shit. Alright, so they're gonna team up against who did they team up against? It was JC Mateo and Tonga Loa near the end of the night, and basically they beat the shit out of Jimmy, and thanks to I believe thanks to Solo and really Hikuleo, Solo's team gets the win in the main event. And we get that, and then the beatdown again. They put Jacob Fatu through the announce table, Shield style. Is that supposed to be a shot at Roman there, Solo, you bastard? And guess what? Roman's coming back pretty soon. I think it's going to be the SmackDown before SummerSlam, like August the 1st, maybe. We'll see him. Maybe before that, maybe a week or two before that. I mean, we'll have to see. Maybe the July 25th SmackDown. Or he could just appear back at SummerSlam night 1 or 2, because this is yearly, every time we see he goes away for a little bit, he comes back at SummerSlam. Ever since 2020, he's coming back. So this is like the 5th year in a row that Roman will come back at SummerSlam, which is just like, it's basically his comeback, and then we see Roman pretty much from SummerSlam all the way to after WrestleMania. So we'll see Roman back to Tribal Chief, and I think he's gonna get revenge on Seth Rollins because of what happened the night after Mania. I think it was the Raw after Mania where I think it was Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, and with Seth, Braun Breaker, and Bronson Reed. They beat the crap out of CM Punk and Roman. So I think when Roman comes back, he's gonna his first target is Seth freaking Rollins, and I wouldn't be surprised if he stops Seth from a possible cash-in at SummerSlam. Would it be against Cody? Would it be against Cena? It could be against Walter. Who knows? But we have that, and my notes. The computer has crashed on me, so and I'm not gonna wait for that. So it's there was the women's tag team tag team qualifying, to go to Evolution. Like I said, with Nick Aldis, it's like, oh, a team from Raw, a team from SmackDown, and NXT. So, Charlotte's in the back. I think wanting to go against Tiffy Tiff, because Tiffy had to make a decision who she's gonna face off at Evolution. We already know she's facing Jade for the belt at SummerSlam since Jade won the Queen of the Ring. So Charlotte's in the back, and Nick Aldis is like, well, we don't know we don't know who Tiffy Tiff is facing yet at Evolution. And Charlotte's like, hey, why don't she face me? Nick Aldis is like, well, that ain't gonna happen because I'm putting you in that women's tag team title match at Evolution, and then Charlotte's like, well, why? And well, who's my partner? And then we see Lexi come in, Alexa Bliss. He's like, all right, before you say anything, I know we're not friends, but how about we team up, and see, it's like, let's team up, let's beat the Secret Hervis and Mia Yim and B-Fab, and then go on to Evolution and get those tag team belts. So reluctantly, Charlotte's like, okay. So then we get to the match. Alexa and Charlotte win the match, so they go to Evolution, and then after the match, Alexa goes, give me a hug! And Charlotte's like, oh, no! Get off from me! So we got that. So it's going to be Raquel and Roxanne Perez teaming up again and defending against, for now, Lexi and Charlotte, which I wouldn't be surprised if they win the belts there, but I don't think so. And then, like I said, we're gonna see who goes to Evolution on Raw this Monday night, and Tuesday night on NXT we'll see what team goes on to as represented by NXT. So that is what it is. Tiffy Tiff came out looking great, by the way. She interrupted Jade's little not so much celebration, her first SmackDown as new Queen of the Ring. So Tiffy comes out, praises Jade a little bit, says, oh, I fought people bigger than me, and I'm gonna beat you like I beat Nia Jax. And then out of nowhere, we get the return of a former women's champion, and that's Trish Stratus. Woo! She looked great in that hot pink outfit. So she comes out and says, you know what, Tiffy, you gave me a nice little moment when we teamed up together in Toronto. Blah blah blah. You gave me a moment. My kids saw me perform in the ring, but my kids have never seen me in the ring as champion. So she's like, you know what? Eight-time champion Trish Stratus sounds like a good idea. So then Tiffy says, like, all right, I see where this is going. This is not the Attitude Era anymore. You're, a little bit older than Trish, but if it's you at Evolution, and then she turns to Jay and says, oh, it's you at SummerSlam, I'm going to prove to the world that the WWE Universe revolves around Tiffy time! Daddy! Why? I'm sleeping. Why? Daddy, I'm fighting two girls! That's nice. Yeah, I'm fighting Trish Stratus. You know her. Oh, you fighting her? Save some for me. No, wait, Daddy. What about Mommy? Leave her alone. Here's my credit card. Shut up and don't say anything. Okay, bye. Anyway, so we got that, and hopefully now my notes are okay. We got that. All right, so Trish Stratus versus Tiffy Tiff for the SmackDown Women's Title at Evolution. We know Tiffy's gonna win there. Hopefully clean. I don't know. We'll see. Then she's gonna go on and face Jade at SummerSlam, and like I mentioned in my videos before, Jade is gonna beat Tiffy and her reign. But then somewhere after the match, or maybe during the match, Naomi's gonna finally cash in. No more teasing shit. She's gonna cash in at SummerSlam, beat Jade, and win the SmackDown Women's title. And it's gonna be an amazing time for her at SummerSlam, and everybody's gonna go, yay! They'll be all happy when Naomi wins the title at SummerSlam. So we got that. We had Nick Aldis yelling at the entire tag team division, and then he makes Andrade and Rey Fenix taking on Axiom. That's that. I mean, it feels like the SmackDown tag team division, just running amok right now. And the Street Profits are like, hey, we got beat up by the Wyatt Six, so why can't just the Wyatt Six get a title shot and you just wait your turn? But next week, we got the Wyatt Six taking on the Street Profits with SmackDown tag team belts. I think it's like a rematch. So hopefully the titles change there. It should be on a pay-per-view. You should wait all the way to SummerSlam and maybe have some type of gauntlet match. Because I don't think they can't do a ladder match with all those teams. It'd be great, but we move on with that. So then Nick Aldis says, well, besides making the Wyatt Six versus the Street Profits for next week for the SmackDown tag titles, he makes a match where an 8-man tag team match, where it's gonna be Montez Ford of the Street Profits teaming up with Chris Sabin of the Motor City Machine Guns, Johnny Gargano of DIY, and Humberto Carrillo, one half of the Triple A tag team champions, and they're gonna be taking on Eric Rowan, Joe Gacy, and Dexter Lumis, Dexter Lumis with Uncle Howdy and Nikki Cross at ringside. So, yeah. Johnny's trying to get a SmackDown Tag Team Division chant. That failed. Come on, Johnny. Really, dude? How about we get a PWG chant? That'll make Excalibur really happy. I heard he doesn't own PWG anymore. I don't know if that's a rumor, but we get that. Alright, so we get to the 8-man tag team match. Uncle Howdy was in the match, I'm sorry. But we get near the end. Uncle Howdy comes in, plants Sabin, then Eric Rowan comes back in. Sabin catches him with a DDT, and then Sabin's like going for the hot tag to Johnny Gargano, and Gargano's like, well, fuck you. Screw Sabin again like he did when DIY originally won the tag team titles. So he drops to the floor and says, I don't want to help you anymore. And then he starts going to the back, and then Rowan comes in like a speeding bullet and squashes Sabin in the corner. And he picks him up, hits the Iron Claw. Nobody gets on the claw. So he hits the Iron Claw slam. 1, 2, 3. The Wyatt Six get the win in over 10.5 minutes. So he builds some momentum for next week's match. And I'm thinking it's going to be Gacy and Dexter, because I've mainly been teaming up lately in the tag team part, not the 8-man or 6-man. So it's going to be Dexter and Joe Gacy taking on Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins for the SmackDown tag team titles. I think in a rematch for about a couple weeks ago. Yeah, it is a rematch because remember they did fight, and then all the tag teams came out and fucked it up. So we get all that. Alright, they'll get a video for my girl Julia, the new Women's United States Champion. She got a promo in Italian and Japanese. But basically, the gist of it, she wants everyone to come after her belt because the Blue Flame will destroy them. Simple to the point. 2.25 out of 5 stars for that. I gave the 8-man tag 2.5 out of 5 stars for that. Alright, then we get a video on the 4th of July, America! Alright, so we got that. Alright, then I mentioned Tiffy Tiff, in the ring, and says her opponent at Evolution is going to be Trish Stratus. Jade kind of takes offense to that. And then, Jade says, I respect what you did against Nia, but you know, she's like, make a good choice, and then Trish Stratus comes out, and that works for Jade, and, basically that's it, and Timmy's like, well, I don't care if it's you at Evolution, or it's you at SummerSlam, I'm gonna walk out, still the SmackDown Women's Champion, because the WWE revolves around and runs on Tiffy time, and that's it. We move on. Alright, then we get a promo from Solo Mibuki and his new fake fucking bloodline. He welcomes Hikuleo to the team. They're ready to take out Jimmy and Jacob later in the night because the family is now complete once again. Even though Tama Tonga is still injured with his hand, his elbow, his shoulder. I don't know what's going on with him. Or when he's coming back. I think eventually come back. We form the Girls of Destiny. I think he will come back. And I think we're going to have another like Bloodline Civil War match at Survivor Series. So it's going to be Solo, JC Mateo, Hikuleo, and the Girls of Destiny. Taking on Roman, Jimmy and Jay, Sami Zayn, and Jacob Fatu. That's going to be your War Games match. You can see it from a mile away. And, hate using this douchebag's, term. Oh, by the way, I was saying, hey JD, how about those Braves today, huh? Losing to Otaku's Orioles. Otaku was going crazy in his video. His little shorts like, hey JD, yeah! Braves further going down the toilet again. Like 12, 13 games out now. They were getting close. They were getting like 7, 8 games back. They were in third place. A couple, they were creeping up. But then, they run to a buzzsaw and go back down the shitter to go. Sorry, JD, you fucker. Your team sucks. Even though you swept the Mets in Atlanta, which we all know Atlanta is the house of horrors for the Mets. Every time they go through there. And I think they Braves took 2 or 3 for the Mets and Citi Field earlier this month. But, might not count now, but it's going to count, later on in August or September. And if the Braves can make a run, maybe get one of those wild card slots. They've done it before when they were out of the division in 2021-22, I believe. And then they won the wild card and it just came out of nowhere and went to the World Series. I think they won that year, the 2021-22 World Series. I had to give, and I hated doing it, and I had to give JD and his team props for making a big run. But what did the Mets do last year? They stunk until basically June 1st. They went on an amazing, no pun intended, run, and kind of ran out, even though they didn't get to the World Series, and they ran out of gas in 6 games to the Dodgers. Who knew that the Mets would have been in the NLCS? Nobody had that on their scorecard as of May 30th last year. But then, Grimace shows up, the whole Tua girl shows up. Mets go on an amazing run. It got kind of, Mets almost earned at the last game, with that doubleheader. Thankfully, they won the first game to clinch the wild card. They could have clinched a better seed if they would have. They would have knocked out the Braves, so they won the second game, but the Braves beat them at the second game to earn that, I think, the 5th seed in the playoffs. And the Mets were the number 6 seed. They had to face Milwaukee, and we all know how that ended with, wasn't for big Pete Alonso and his big meaty stick. Not that type of stick. The Mets, we wouldn't be talking about the Mets facing Philadelphia and beating them in 5 games in the NLDS in that amazing that series where they lost game 1. No, I think they won game 1. They should have won game. They should have swept the Phillies if they didn't choke game 2. But then they won game 3, 4, and 5 basically. And it kind of got dicey in Game 5. I thought they were not going to win, and then they had to face Zach Wheeler in Game 6 in Philly. But, thankfully, Frankie Lindor hit a grand slam that catapulted the Mets to the NLCS. And, it was a good series there. Mets lost Game 1, came back and beat the crap. They got a split in LA. They lost Game 3 and 4. And I was like, they win Game 5, they can maybe make it a series. But it just felt like 1999 all over again with the Mets. When they won the wild card. And then they went on to win the NLDS. Then they went on to face the Braves. And they had a 3-0 lead and almost made it a miraculous comeback if it wasn't for Kenny Rogers sticking up the joint, walking in the tying run, I think in the 9th or 10th inning, and the Braves went on to the World Series to face the Yankees. I think the Yankees did the Mets a solid that year. Says, fuck the Braves, we should have been us. It could have been a Subway Series in 99 instead of 2000, where we all know the Yankees cheated. I'm still going to say Todd Zero hit a home run in the 2000 World Series in Game 1. That ball went over the wall and came back into play. But they didn't call it a home run. I wish we had instant replay back then. We didn't have it in 2000. Now we have it. It's just, sometimes, it's crazy. Ball's like, it's not over, it's over. And then I don't know about next year. They might have that rule that was implemented in spring training where the batter can tap his helmet. It's like, I want to review that strike. That was not a strike. And then I think even the catcher can do it. They did it in spring training, and the pitcher can actually do it. So I don't know if that's going to be implemented next season. I mean, we'll see. It'd be nice. It'd be nice, but then again, it's like wasting more time with the replay. More time wasting. This game is not going to end until like 4 o'clock. 4-hour game instead of a 2-hour game. Because with all the delays and, if the team gets a big inning and shit. But anyway. Alright, Andrade and Ray Phoenix beat Fraxium. I don't get it. Fraxium came up to the main roster. They go after the Wired Six. They go after the Street Profits. And then now they're pretty much jobbers again. Jobbers right now. Alright, so we get that. Match was great. 3 out of 5 stars. Poppy Priest runs into Aleister Black in the back. That rhymes. So Aleister Black's going to take on Art Full next week. So Aleister says Poppy is the good guy right now, but violence begets violence. Or violence constitutes violence. Poppy doesn't think that he's the good guy, and thinks R-Truth might take care of him next week. Well, we'll see. I think Ron Killings might beat Aleister Black, but I'd rather see maybe Ron, maybe Poppy comes out and says, "Hey, come on, Truth," and then that causes a distraction with these two Art Fool getting black masked out of his boots and everything. That's that. And then the main event, like I say, JC Mateo went solo, beat Jimmy and Jacob, and then after the match, they put Jimmy through the announce table Shield style, and that's it for SmackDown. And that's it. Alright, so SmackDown was kind of meh. Wasn't a great SmackDown because it was taped and everybody didn't really watch it. The ratings weren't even that great either. So SmackDown, I gave 6.25 out of 5 stars. So Raw 6.5, and SmackDown 6.25. So right around that 6.25, 6.5 plateau this week, and we'll see what happens on the Go Home Show this Monday night on Raw, and the Go Home Show on Friday for Evolution, and then NXT on Tuesday with their Go Home Show before the Bash, and that's it. So it's gonna be a long week this week. I'm going to try to get as many videos as I can. I know it's a busy week, especially with Ring of Honor predictions, Great American Bash predictions, All-In predictions, Saturday Night's Main Event predictions, and Evolution. It's going to be, so many predictions videos. It's going to be insane. But I'm going to condense it I'm gonna do All In by itself, but then I'm gonna do the Great American Bash and Saturday Night's Main Event in one video. I'm gonna combine that, and then I'm gonna do a probably next Sunday early afternoon. I'm gonna do, if I don't have any videos to make before Evolution, then I'll do my Evolution 2 predictions, along with probably gonna do I'm thinking of doing solo, not solo Sokoa, but I'm thinking of doing solo videos for the Great American Bash and then All In. But I'm thinking of doing when I do the review, I'll do the predictions, I'll combine the Bash and Saturday Night's Main Event in one big package predictions video, and I'll do the review in the same manner on my Peter Joseph channel. So, like I said, this week is going to be, hectic, but I'll try to get as much as I can. So please hit that bell, so when those videos do go up eventually, hopefully you'll get to see those, and you can stay up to date with all that. And if you missed anything, any of my reviews from this past week, go on my respective channels and check out the latest videos. And that's it. Latest shorts I put up one earlier, a couple today. I think I put up 2 today. I know I put up 1 earlier, so check those out. I'm not doing them for clout. We're getting a lot of views off AEW and WWE content, because it's like, oh, you should be flagged down for that for copyright. Well, I don't think you can if you use something in a short, and it was like 5-10 seconds. I don't think they're gonna get hit with a copyright strike for 10 seconds of a video. It's retarded, but anyway, we got that. All right, guys, it is late. I'm going to bed, and then tomorrow we'll talk about TNA and Ring of Honor, and also we'll talk about Collision, because I watched a little bit of Collision. I have to finish it off, so before I'm gonna probably in the morning, I'm gonna go to bed a little bit, and then when I get up in the morning, I'm gonna watch the rest of Collision on my trusty dead computer. Watch that. Do the TNA Ring of Honor review early afternoon, and then I got some errands to run. I gotta go shopping. I meant to do it today, but I'm doing it tomorrow. So I'll do the video early tomorrow before I go shopping, and then I have to do some other errands. After I go shopping, I gotta do some other errands, and I gotta go out to dinner with the missus, of course. And then after that, after we come back from dinner, about 10 or 11 o'clock, maybe 12, right around this time. Well, not this time, but a little bit earlier. We'll talk about Collision, and then that'll be it. And then as we start the new week, hopefully we'll get on a set course for all the videos coming that night, or maybe that morning or afternoon the next day. So, but like I said, I'm a busy guy. I got a lot of appointments this week. Basically every day except for Friday, I have doctor's appointments. I have to go to the dentist Thursday to get my grill fixed. Eventually, the tooth over here is gonna get fixed. I'm gonna get a brand new teeth, brand new smile, because you love my smile, ladies, right? So all you people saying, "Oh, Peter, you look like crap. Go get your teeth fixed." Blah blah blah. And then wanted to try to knock more teeth out of my mouth. Yeah, that ain't gonna happen. Sit in your home and continue to jerk off to me, okay? But make sure you wipe after. Wipe down your computer after you flood the computer with your semen. But and that's that. But ladies, if you're watching me and you're getting all hot and hot and bothered in your panties, and or if you're naked, if you're naked and you're about to splash on your screen, well, you can do that, but just make sure you clean your tablet or your laptop or whatever after You know, okay, I'm getting weird now. But yeah. Ladies, continue to splash on me. Guys, go fuck yourselves. That's that. Alright, everybody, I am out of here. Thanks for watching. Once again, 6.5 out of 10 stars for Raw, 6.25 out of 10 stars for SmackDown. Decent shows. We'll see what happens this week on the programs. And that's it. Alright, until next time, my friends, I am Peter Joseph signing off. Peace out, rock on and rock hard with your cookout. And if you're not down with that, well, too bad. Go do another 3-hour stream on me that'll bore the hell out of me. And people raging out their ass and crying like little bitches. Raging, and you can hear the crying in the background. Keep crying me a river, bitches, because you know you wasted your whole weekend on me with your boring as fuck screams. I could care less. I was laughing today. I didn't even watch that supposed 3-hour stream. I got sent some clips here and there from secret people, and I tell you, I have spies. So I got some intel and everything, and I just laughed. That people wasted basically 3 hours of their time today when they could have been out enjoying their 4th of July weekend, but you know, it is what it is. You know, if you want to waste 3 hours on me on a holiday weekend, go ahead. Doesn't affect me much because I got better things to do. I'm not gonna come on and do a 3-hour fucking drama stream or anything like that. I'm going almost 2 hours now on this review, but it is what it is. I had to fill time, so. But that's that. Continue to rotate on my dick. And that's all I gotta say about like that. Rotate on my dick like your girlfriend and your mom's been doing for the last 16 years. Because I can't get enough of it. And that's that. Alright, I'm out of here, guys. Thanks for watching, and until next time, if you're not down with that, like I said, fuck you, man! And we are the prophecy. We are the greatest thing since sliced bread. And if you're not down with us, and you're not down with everything that I said in this video, and anything else, like I said, fuck you, man. Go fuck yourself and cry us a river. We're out. Peace!